The palace was filled with the soft fragrance of white gardenias, creating a romantic atmosphere. The bride and groom, surrounded by their guests, embraced each other with a look of deep affection in their eyes. As the wedding music played, they walked hand in hand, exchanging vows of love.
Cheerful, James, with you. Every day feels like a fairy tale. I promise to love and cherish you forever.
Hopeful, Emily, you are my everything. I vow to stand by you through thick and thin, for all eternity.
I watched from my seat, suppressing a wave of nausea while indulging in the desserts on the table. My agent, Jessica, had reminded me to seize this opportunity to make an impression on Director Smith. I searched the crowd for him. Rumor had it he was planning a patriotic blockbuster.
Whispering, "Where is Director Smith? I need to find him."
Serious? Remember, Olivia, this is your chance to transition from an idol to a serious actress.
My gaze landed on a tall man standing beside Director Smith. He wore an impeccably tailored gray suit, and his expression was displeased. It was Ethan Blake, my ex-boyfriend. Suddenly, a sharp female voice pierced my ear.
Shouting, I'm sorry, I spilled it on you.
My custom-made pink tulle dress was ruined. The actress, though apologizing, couldn't hide her gloating satisfaction.
Relieved, it's fine, it's fine. It was an accident.
Unfriendly, sister. The president of Starry Entertainment is getting married, and you still have the nerve to show up. Ha ha ha.
I was truly being kicked while I was down.
Angry, oh? An accident?
Ethan Blake appeared beside me, his tall frame shielding me. He grabbed the mousse cake from my hand and smeared it on the actress's dress.
Terrified, Mr. Blake, I'm so sorry.
Ethan wiped the red wine stain from my dress, glaring coldly at her.
Angry, Just a sorry?
She trembled, kneeling in apology, clearly frightened by the man before her.
Unfriendly, so, after leaving me, you've fallen so low that even someone of her level dares to mess with you?
James Hunter's wedding was utterly boring. The old foxes of the entertainment industry exchanged pleasantries, selecting newcomers to maintain their popularity.
Serious, sometimes, I can't even tell who the female lead is among the mediocre actresses. Starry Entertainment's productions are truly awe-inspiring.
I pulled out my phone to call Jessica, asking her to send a car to pick me up while walking towards the hotel lobby.
Serious, Olivia, ever since the higher-ups found out you don't plan to renew your contract, they've withdrawn all resources. You might be blacklisted for the remaining months.
Whispering, it's okay, I understand.
The man's figure behind me closed in. Ethan Blake, reeking of alcohol, grabbed my arm, pushing me into a corner.
Intense, Olivia Bennett, he's married. Consider me, will you?
Just before his warm lips touched mine, I nodded.
Whispering, okay.
Using a concerned tone to deliver the most sarcastic remarks, indeed, men remain boys at heart. James Hunter's wedding was utterly boring. The old foxes of the entertainment industry exchanged pleasantries, selecting newcomers to maintain their popularity. The new generation of actors tried their best to get close to the top executives of major entertainment companies, hoping to land a lead role in some unknown web series. Sometimes, when I accidentally clicked on a big-budget TV series, I couldn't tell who the female lead was among the mediocre actresses playing beauties from all realms. All dressed in white, by the end of the series, I still didn't know who the female lead was. Starry Entertainment's money-laundering productions truly left me in awe. I pulled out my phone to call Jessica, asking her to send a car to pick me up, while walking towards the hotel lobby in my 10-centimeter Valentino heels. The call connected.
Jessica, ever since the higher-ups found out I don't plan to renew my contract, they've withdrawn all the resources they previously gave me. According to Starry Entertainment's tradition, they'll probably blacklist me for the remaining months.
And the company wants to shelve you until the contract expires, not accepting any engagements.
It's okay, I understand.
The man's figure behind me closed in. Ethan Blake, reeking of alcohol, grabbed my arm, pushing me into a corner. He trapped my chin with his hands, his gaze intense.
Olivia Bennett, he's married. Consider me, will you?
Just before his warm lips touched mine, I nodded. As if possessed, I said,
Okay.
The next day, thanks to James Hunter, I faced the first wave of online backlash.
Concerned, by the third day, all my past missteps were dragged out and scrutinized. The most baffling accusation was, according to crew members, Olivia Bennett often didn't wash her hands after using the restroom. What?
Soon after, I was informed that many of the film and fashion opportunities one had secured were being reassigned to other up-and-coming actors in the company.
Sad, even the endorsements I had invested in were being handed over to other actresses.
But I wasn't heartbroken. After all, in my 5 years at Starry Entertainment, I had been constantly busy, like a spinning top. Between shooting commercials and films, I also had to accompany James Hunter to his social events.
Angry, he had a habit of making me wear revealing swimsuits to entertain investors, even making me perform pole dances at the height of the parties. When I got dizzy from drinking and turned to him for help, he would step back and watch coldly as I was harassed by older men.
Initially, industry insiders thought I was his woman and held back, but seeing his indifference, they became increasingly brazen. Some even secretly drugged me, and a father-son duo of high-ranking officials shamelessly took advantage of me. Others took out their phones to capture my humiliation. Those painful memories surged like a flood, making my chest ache. I took a deep breath to calm myself.
Ringing.
Drunken, hello, Olivia Bennett, Nightfall Bar.
James Hunter's voice flowed through the phone, tinged with a hint of intoxication.
Serious, I decided to do my job one last time, grabbed my coat from the sofa, and headed to Nightfall.
Following the staff's directions, I arrived at a VIP room. As I opened the door, a strong smell of alcohol hit me. I should mention, in James Hunter's life, I also played the role of a caretaker, responsible for getting him home when he was drunk. Because of this, the media often assumed I was his lover. James Hunter wore a white shirt, the top 2 buttons undone, revealing the muscles of his neck. He leaned against Emily Carter's shoulder, his cold lips murmuring repeatedly about how much he loved her.
Concerned, was he out of lines? Still using the same speech from the wedding ceremony?
I stood at the doorway of the dimly lit room, frowning slightly. Normally, I would have helped James Hunter to the car by myself, but with his new wife here, I didn't dare make a move.
Angry, why aren't you helping me back?
James Hunter rubbed his eyes, struggled to stand, and staggered towards me with open arms. Everyone present was astute enough not to act rashly. Was the boss really so infatuated that he was seeking out his old flame in front of his wife? Before James Hunter could take a few steps, Emily Carter pulled him back onto the sofa. Dressed in a pure white gown, she raised an eyebrow.
Friendly, I heard Olivia just won the Golden Eagle Award. Congratulations.
Relieved, thank you.
Friendly, I also heard you released an album. Could you sing a song for us? I'd love to learn from you.
Emily Carter, playing the role of the legitimate wife, was humiliating me. I stood in front of her, looking down at her seemingly innocent face. Taller by half a head, I kept my hands in the pockets of my navy coat and looked down at her.
Angry, just a mistress who climbed into the boss's bed. Do you even deserve it?
I said it nonchalantly and slammed the door on my way out. Familiar with the routine, I took a pack of cigarettes from the glove compartment, lit one, and exhaled a cloud of white smoke. The swirling smoke blurred the line between reality and dream, and my eyes grew misty, as if I could see Ethan Blake's cold, handsome face again. Suddenly, the passenger door opened, and a man swiftly rolled up the window. He leaned over, pinning me against the seat, his hot lips launching a fierce assault. In the darkness, his eyes gleamed, and in the heat of the moment, he bit open my shoulder strap, his warm breath on my ear, urging me to undress him. In the moonlight, his ears were so red they seemed about to bleed. James Hunter's call came again. I suppressed my heavy breathing and answered.
Concerned, hello.
Angry, where are you? Get back here in 10 minutes.
Concerned, I'm not available right now.
Angry, what are you doing? Who's the man with you? Olivia Bennett, how dare you betray me?
The voice on the other end grew increasingly agitated. Ethan Blake grabbed the phone.
Angry, Mr. Hunter, you're interrupting me and my girlfriend.
Then he hung up. I moved my hips to match his rhythm. Outside, the summer night was filled with the sound of waves and occasional cicadas, while inside the car, Ethan Blake and I were lost in a symphony of sweat and breath. After that night, James Hunter never contacted me again. He began attending various events, actively promoting Emily Carter to prominent directors. Emily Carter, the leading actress of Starry Entertainment, trended on social media for a week before the national women's volleyball team's victory overshadowed her. How could someone who brought glory to the country be less popular than an actress? Did the officials have to pay to keep her trending? This is the power of capital? I reached out to the president of Starry Entertainment's rival company, offering to sell 30% of Starry Entertainment's shares in exchange for half of their artist resources after the acquisition. The other party seemed very pleased with my proposal and quickly responded.
Pleasure doing business with you, Miss Bennett.
Ethan Blake, dressed in a gray and white loungewear set with a pink apron around his waist, approached me with a bowl of lily porridge. His serious demeanor had a hint of cuteness.
Dinner's ready, Olivia.
Due to an unwritten rule at Starry Entertainment that all female actors must accompany senior management to social events, even I, James Hunter's apparent favorite, was not exempt. This led to me developing a 3-year stomach condition at just 28. If I skipped breakfast, I would even faint. Ethan took off the apron, holding the porridge in his hands. He scooped a spoonful, blew on it, and brought it to my lips. The scene made me lose focus. I didn't dare open my mouth, just stared at him.
Is it worth it, what you're doing?
Because it's for you, everything is worth it, Ethan.
The man before me had shed his youthful innocence, his features becoming sharper. His almond-shaped eyes only showed deep affection when looking at me. Most of the time, they were cold and downcast. He was firmly telling me that he chose me. He leaned forward and held me in his arms.
Whatever you want to do, I'll do my best to help you achieve it.
A month later, I started filming Farewell Song. In the makeup room, the makeup artist was a young girl with 2 braids, resembling a little sparrow. She loved chatting with me about everything, encouraging me.
Olivia, don't be sad. I was one of your earliest fans. We've formed our own PR team to fight against those online trolls. Don't be afraid, you're so talented. You'll definitely get through this. Keep going.
Across the makeup table, there was a loud bang as Emily Carter slammed down an eyeshadow palette. She pointed at her personal makeup artist and yelled.
What kind of makeup is this? Did the company not pay you? You made me look so ugly.
She turned and glared at me, then pointed at Jenny beside me.
You. Come do my makeup.
Don't you have your own makeup artist? Why do you need me?
Stop talking. I told you to come over. Who's the leading actress here?
I tugged at Jenny's sleeve, softly comforting her.
Go ahead. I can manage on my own. We can't afford to offend her, be careful with your job.
My makeup was almost done, I just needed to apply some powder. Looking at the face in the mirror, no longer youthful, I seemed to see my past, struggling self through the reflection. I grew up in a backward village in northern Jiangsu. My parents, for a dowry of 150,000 yuan, arranged my engagement to the village chief's simple-minded son without my consent. To escape this unfair fate, I fled to Beijing, becoming a drifter. By chance, I stumbled into acting. After 3 years of hard work, I was still only playing insignificant roles: maids without lines, street vendors, prisoners with bruises, fierce women dragging their husbands home from brothels. At first, I didn't care about being a lead or a supporting character. I just wanted to survive in this vast city. But as years passed, seeing countless stars surrounded by adoring fans, I became greedy. I didn't want to remain a background character forever. I wanted to be the leading actress. Then I met James Hunter. He signed me, despite my lack of formal training, and paid to get me into various productions. Though they were all supporting roles, I finally had the chance to deliver long dialogues. Naively, I thought I had found my mentor. Until he forced me to break up with Ethan Blake and become his kept woman, I realized his true, ruthless nature. After Jenny finished Emily Carter's makeup, she came back with a deep bite mark on her hand, looking distressed.
What happened?
I put down my makeup brush and handed her an iced coconut latte.
I don't like this.
The young girl lowered her head, fiddling with a prop ball with her toes.
I only drank it every day because my favorite celebrity endorsed it to boost sales.
Come on, tell me which celebrity has such a hold on you.
I'm not telling you. It's my little secret.
Emily Carter, leveraging her status as the leading actress and the boss's wife at Starry Entertainment, often made things difficult for me. There was an underwater scene where the lead actress saves the supporting actress. Knowing I was afraid of water, she deliberately messed up multiple times. A single scene took nearly 100 takes. To avoid delaying the schedule, I didn't react on set. In the final take, I suppressed my anger and cooperated with her to get me out of the water. But after the director yelled cut, she pushed me back in. Because of her antics, after over 100 takes, I, who couldn't swim, learned to swim. Calmly, I climbed out of the water, smiling, and walked up to her. Slap, slap, I hit her twice.
Messing with me?
Emily Carter stood there, stunned. Still not satisfied, I kicked her in the waist, sending her splashing back into the water.
Just wait. James Hunter won't let you off.
Olivia Bennet, with wet hair sticking to her face, didn't look much like James Hunter's deceased first love anymore. I smirked.
Oh, really? Fine, I'll be right here waiting for him.
He would come, but not because of Emily Carter. It was because I held 30% of Starry Entertainment's shares. James Hunter arrived in a hurry, wearing a black suit with a gray coat over it. His pants were muddy, with large stains of alcohol. He dragged me into the makeup room, gripping my neck and pressing me against the mirror, threatening.
Olivia Bennet? You think you can mess with me? I advise you to hand over the 30% shares of Starry Entertainment. Otherwise, you'll never make it in this industry. Without me, you wouldn't be where you are today. I made you.
Struggling to meet his furious gaze, I retorted.
James Hunter, how dare you treat me like this? Do you think you still have that power?
I laughed maniacally, slapping him across the face.
What you owe me is far from being repaid. Let me tell you, I've sold those shares to your rival company. You've been fighting for so long without a clear winner. You want to know who wins? I'll tell you now, the loser will be you.
I broke free from him, and for the first time, he hit a woman. Despite my training in self-defense, his strength overpowered me. During the struggle, he kicked me twice in the abdomen, and I crashed into the makeup table, pain radiating from my waist. Clutching my stomach, I painfully got up and fled the makeup room. Outside, people, fearing James Hunter's influence, just stared, not daring to help. Jenny ran over, crying, to support me.
Are you okay, sis? Is there?
Before she could finish, I fainted in her arms. In my days, I seemed to hear Ethan Blake's voice, and then I fell into a warm, broad embrace. My consciousness faded, and I felt so tired, my eyelids heavy, unable to open. I just wanted to sleep forever. I had a long, long dream. On the day Ethan and I broke up, it rained for the first time that summer. After work, I called him to pick me up. Despite not sleeping for 3 days and nights due to filming, he appeared before me immediately, carefully escorting me to the car. He then leaned in, his fingers poking his cheek, his bright eyes expectant for a reward. Under his hopeful gaze, I coldly broke up with him. Ethan's pupils dilated, tears filling his eyes. He hugged me tightly, as if trying to merge me into himself. The once proud Ethan, in a nearly pleading tone, said,
Please don't leave me, okay?
I knew it was a dream. The boy who loved me had long returned to my side. But why did my heart ache so much? Even in a dream, losing you makes me incredibly sad. Using a concerned tone to deliver the most sarcastic remarks, indeed, men remain boys at heart. James Hunter's wedding was utterly boring. The old foxes of the entertainment industry exchanged pleasantries, selecting newcomers to maintain their popularity. The new generation of actors tried their best to get close to the top executives of major entertainment companies, hoping to land a lead role in some unknown web series.
Sometimes, when I accidentally click on a big-budget TV series, I can't tell who the female lead is among the mediocre actresses playing beauties from all realms. All dressed in white, by the end of the series, I still don't know who the female lead is. Starry Entertainment's productions truly leave me in awe.
Pulling out her phone, Olivia called Jessica, asking her to send a car to pick her up, while walking towards the hotel lobby in her 10-centimeter Valentino heels. The call connected.
Olivia, ever since the higher-ups found out you don't plan to renew your contract, they've withdrawn all the resources they previously gave you. According to Starry Entertainment's tradition, you'll probably be blacklisted for the remaining months.
And the company wants to shelve me until the contract expires, not accepting any engagements.
It's okay, I understand.
Suddenly, a man's figure closed in behind Olivia. Ethan Blake, reeking of alcohol, grabbed her arm, pushing her into a corner. He trapped her chin with his hands, his gaze intense.
Olivia Bennett, he's married. Consider me, will you?
Just before his warm lips touched hers, she nodded. As if possessed, she said,
Okay.
I first met Ethan Blake during the filming of a big-budget time travel drama. I played a minor role, while he was the male lead. He often approached me to chat.
Ms. Bennett, how should I act in this scene to better convey my grief over the female lead's passing? Ms. Bennett, don't eat the boxed lunch. My assistant bought some braised fish. Let's eat together, okay? Ms. Bennett, you're amazing! Your emotional performance in that scene was spot on.
He would always chatter around me, seizing every opportunity to compliment me.
Ms. Bennett, You make eating look so delicious. You're incredible.
I'm Olivia Bennet, after all. I eat with style.
Sometimes, I couldn't resist and would join in his playful banter. That drama was the most enjoyable project I ever worked on, all because of Ethan. Most of the time, I kept a cold demeanor. After all, in this paparazzi-infested entertainment industry, any scandalous photo could ruin this young man's future. He was still a student at the Beijing Film Academy with a bright future ahead. I couldn't let my status as a struggling actress, who hadn't even landed a lead role after 4 or 5 years, jeopardize his path. I eventually accepted his advances, all because of a meal of dumplings. There was a snow scene in that time travel drama. Originally, director Smith planned to give the crew a break for the new year and shoot the snow scene against a green screen later. But in 2013, Hangdian, a place where it rarely snowed, was blanketed in snow. The moonlight reflected off the frost-covered bricks, making the scene look like a starry river or shattered jade. The plum blossoms in the summer palace bloomed, resembling a fiery cloud. The snow scene wrapped up on New Year's Eve. I was eating a boxed meal in a shabby coat in the makeshift shed on set. The rice was cold and hard, and without heating, my chilblains flared up again. Ethan, wearing a peacock fur coat from the drama, appeared before me and pulled me into his van. The 18-year-old's youthful smile bloomed alongside the fireworks outside the window. The van's heater was on high, and he handed me a bowl of oddly shaped dumplings. He then knelt before me, carefully applying ointment to my chilblains. His warm fingers touched my skin, and I looked into his clear, dark eyes, which seemed to say,
I like you. Eat up, sis. It's New Year's Eve. If you don't eat dumplings, you'll lose your ears.
My face flushed with heat, and I lowered my head to eat the dumplings, avoiding his gaze. He seemed to see through my thoughts and lowered his head, asking knowingly,
Sis, why is your face red?
When I didn't respond, he continued,
Sis, will you be my girlfriend?
How could I not want to be your girlfriend? You stood by me when the entire crew isolated me. You recommended me to the director time and again, doing your best to secure a role for me. Ethan, are you the moon? You always appear in my darkest, tear-filled nights, telling me to hang in there. Using a concerned tone to deliver the most sarcastic remarks, indeed, men remain boys at heart. James Hunter's wedding was utterly boring.
Did you see the crowd at James's wedding? The old foxes of the entertainment industry, all exchanging pleasantries.
Cheerful, oh, absolutely. They were busy selecting newcomers to maintain their popularity.
Whispering, and the new generation of actors? Trying their best to get close to the top executives of major entertainment companies, hoping to land a lead role in some unknown web series.
Sometimes, when I accidentally clicked on a big-budget TV series, I couldn't tell who the female lead was among the mediocre actresses playing beauties from all realms.
Angry, all dressed in white, by the end of the series, I still didn't know who the female lead was. Starry Entertainment's money-laundering productions truly left me in awe.
I pulled out my phone to call Jessica, asking her to send a car to pick me up, while walking towards the hotel lobby in my 10-centimeter Valentino heels. The call connected.
Serious, Olivia, ever since the higher-ups found out you don't plan to renew your contract, they've withdrawn all the resources they previously gave you.
Hopeful, and?
Serious, according to Starry Entertainment's tradition, you'll probably be blacklisted for the remaining months. The company wants to shelve you until the contract expires, not accepting any engagements.
Relieved, it's okay, I understand.
The man's figure behind me closed in. Ethan Blake, reeking of alcohol, grabbed my arm, pushing me into a corner. He trapped my chin with his hands, his gaze intense.
Excited, Olivia Bennett, he's married. Consider me, will you?
Just before his warm lips touched mine, I nodded. As if possessed, I said.
Shy, okay.